Hello, darlings. So this video is going to be something that I have dreaded doing since this whole damn thing started. I was raised in a cult. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. By talking about this, I put myself in a category of being a apostate by the cult Watchtower Society. And so by putting this out there, I'm pretty much saying goodbye to any of my remaining Jehovah's Witness family. But I'm going to do it because there are a lot of people like me out there. I'm quite certain of it. And I'm feeling like this experience in my life spiritually has put me in a position where I am able to see what's going on in the world around me from a different perspective. So let me break that down. So I was born into the cult, right? Like I was born, parents were in it, mom was in it, dad, right? I knew absolutely nothing in this lifetime other than the indoctrinations of the Jehovah's Witnesses. So never had birthdays, holidays. There was never anything to look forward to that way. We were only allowed to hang out with other Jehovah's Witnesses because heaven forbid you should talk to somebody who would actually make you think for yourself. So like I wasn't allowed to hang out with kids that I got along with at school. I had to pick from the Jehovah's Witnesses that were available. And, well, frankly, didn't click with many of them. So about middle school, started totally not believing the bullshit that I had been taught, right? I've told you that Jehovah's Witnesses, anything and everything, if you're not doing exactly as you're told, then you're displeasing God. And God is always watching. God's watching everything you do and judging. And if you aren't obedient, then you won't make it into Armageddon, or you won't make it past Armageddon when God comes through and kills all the bad people, and only the righteous and meek Jehovah's Witnesses will live into the paradise kingdom on earth, right? So that's what I was raised thinking. Middle school, age 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, I kind of was like, okay, this is bullshit. I'm not buying it. Why on earth would God allow all of this horrible stuff? And I just don't buy it. I don't buy this bullshit. So I started pulling away. My mom decided that I needed to study with somebody who was cool. And that's where the whole rape at 16 came in. She had me studying the Bible with a ministerial servant. So there are in the Jehovah's Witnesses, in the congregation level, it's elders, ministerial servants, and then peons, and then women are way the fuck down here. We're like, be subjective, women are, anyway, so he was a ministerial servant. My mom thought he was fucking awesome. He had the whole Magnum PI mustache thing going, and anyway. So I'm studying the Bible with this guy. It's doing nothing for me, but whatever. I'm appeasing my mom. I was 16 by this time. Then he rapes me, pours strawberry daiquiris down my throat and rapes me. And that wasn't really where I had already like started being like, fuck this. I live now for I may die. For tomorrow I may die. I mean, I was already in that mindset. I was finally hanging out with somebody I really meshed with, and they were not Jehovah's Witnesses. I was able to get my mom underneath my mom's thumb. And so I was already out being crazy and doing my thing. And so, okay, fine. I got raped, whatever. I didn't let it bother me. Kept on doing my thing, doing doing whoever I wanted, whenever I wanted, because I could. And when I was 17, I had a boyfriend who was 27. He was also a Jehovah's Witness, but he was in trouble. He was disfellowshipped. So he wasn't like in the good graces of God. So that was he disfellowshipped? My mom wouldn't have let him in the house if he was. So maybe he just had been reinstated and hadn't really started going back to the meetings or anything. Maybe that's what it was, because my mom wouldn't have let him in the house if he was actually disfellowshipped at the time. But he had been, I do know that. Anyway, so I had this boyfriend that would hang out, and he'd bring groceries over, and life was good, And then all of a sudden, he started picking up, because he was a narcissist, he was picking up on what a narcissist my mother was, and how my mother loved him as long as he was bringing groceries over, or buying a bottle of wine to come over, in the evening. So he started to pick up on that. They started to battle, and I'm like, that's it, I'm done. Deuces, I'm out of here. Oh, wait. How did I miss? After my sophomore year in high school, my mom decided that I had to be homeschooled because I was the only one with an income in the family. My older sister had taken off. She eloped at the age of 16, but she was gone, and my older brother was fucking clueless. But my mom could not afford for me to not have a paycheck coming in, so she enrolled me in homeschool, and then promptly quit paying for it. So I had to pay for my own homeschool, and got almost all the way through it until I said, fuck this. And then I got my GED and moved on with life. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So this boyfriend that I was dating, the narcissist, owned a painting company. And so I ran a paint crew. We were, knocking out stuff. I moved out with him. We moved in with his dad, who lived in, get this, shit you not, a trailer in the back field of a livestock auction that literally had an electrical cord run from the trailer behind the auction through the field. It actually had trees and stuff through the pasture out to the back trailer. It was a double wide. I mean, seriously. Right? It's amazing to think how fucking far I've come in this life. I'll never forget that place because I had a Fiat Spider 2000 with a soft top convertible, and the fucking horses chewed on my roof and ripped it. It's pretty funny. Anyway. Okay, so I moved out with this boyfriend, and then of course it was all kinds of controversial because, he then got disfellowshipped, I think, and got in trouble and whatever. We were together a couple of years. But that pretty much solidified my, fuck you, Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm done. Jehovah's Witnesses very much are a cult. I mean, they really are. It is mind control to the nth degree. Like, if you ask a Jehovah's Witness or a fairly new Jehovah's Witness, what do you guys, what is your stance on birthdays? Why don't you believe in birthdays? When I was there, and up until a few years ago, I don't know if they might have a newer version. They might have a better something. There was a book called Reasoning with the Scriptures. They literally told you exactly what you think. Which, truth be told, pretty much all religion does that. Just not quite to that degree, right? A lot of religions will leave like the interpretation of things up to the person who's giving the sermon or the talk or the whatever. But no, Jehovah's Witnesses, they will. Bam, bam, bam. This is what you believe, and this is why. So you're not allowed to think for yourself. You're not allowed to think outside the box. There are so many people that I remember when I was back in that situation that would come into Jehovah's Witnesses being like, well, I was just coming into it, I was gonna prove them wrong. And then once I started researching it, it was all the truth. So here's the thing. When you study with Jehovah's Witnesses, they use all of their own literature. right? So the Reasoning with the Scriptures is just one of their many, many books. So if you're going to use the material provided by a particular mindset-driven entity, of course they're going to have all the right answers because they wrote the fucking book. My biggest thing with just religion in general is that we're going off of a Bible translation that in, I don't know if it was 1580s, that the Pope literally went through and peeked out parts of the Bible, legitimate teachings of Christ consciousness, the ones that show you that you have the power, the ones that show you that it is all within you, got taken out of the Bible. Why? Because religion wanted to make sure that they were your conduit between you and God. I mean, it's documented. It's out there. Go down that rabbit hole. Bibles were changed. Look up Book of Thomas. Look up the Book of Mary Magdalene. Look up the Book of Paul and oh goddamn, what is it? Flecka. I'll think it up. Anyway, there are legitimate books of the Bible that talk about how Christ consciousness is received and developed by yourself within yourself. It is within you. It does not require a church. It does not require a pope. It does not require anything like that. So any and all religions that are based off of the King James Version Bible or any of these translations are all telling false stories. Everything they're talking about is based off of false stories. The translations themselves have been translated incorrectly. The original Genesis 1:1, it's not in the beginning, it's in a beginning. Those are two different fucking stories. In the beginning, oh, that's before fucking dinosaurs, right? I mean, that's what's beginning of the planet, beginning of Earth, beginning of mankind, right? In a beginning says, oh yeah, well, we've done this a few fucking times, which we have. That's what I'm saying. The Bible is not like the entire story of everything, the dawn of time. It has a great meaning. It has a great message. It teaches us to become the most amazing, capable creatures that we're capable of being. We are a soul, a spirit consciousness, living a human experience. And the Bible is a very good guidebook on how to learn to be that Christ conscious spirit in human form. But not if you're not reading the right version. Now, I have yet to find or even look for a version that has all of the books from start to finish and a correct translation. I don't really particularly want to read the Bible, so that was why I had gone there. I've spent enough time reading the Bible in my life. I'm done with that. Yeah, it was pretty fucking jacked up growing up in a cult. When I was about 20, after, however many years of the live now for tomorrow we may die, because I had decided that I was just going to die at Armageddon. I was not a Jehovah's Witness. I did not believe what they were telling me, but if by God, if they were telling the truth, then I was just going to die at Armageddon. I was just prepared to do that. That was my mindset. I was about 20, and I'll never forget the experience, the day, the path that my mind went to get down this. We were driving home from a Halloween party in Jefferson City, Missouri. And I was partaking in some Mary Jane, so feeling good. And for some reason, my mind started thinking, what if this whole planet was just an ant farm for some higher dimensional being, some alien being, something else? What if this is just a big fucking experiment? What if everything that we're doing here is entertainment to some higher form? And somehow from that, I decided I didn't believe in God. I'm like, no, I just don't believe in God. This is bullshit. I kind of thought maybe I was agnostic, where it was like, oh, is there a God? But at that point, I'm like, no, I don't believe in God. There's no God. There might be outer space, other dimensional beings, but I didn't believe in God. And I proceeded to live my life in a don't know, don't care where I came from type of mindset, all the way up until 2019. So 20 years. Now I am spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I mean I connect to my God self. I connect to God myself because I am a piece of God. We are, all of us, a piece of God. Every one of us. We are all connected. Part of my issue with sports and competition, or like those cutthroat business people, or those people who are just always trying to best the people around them. Oh, my hair's keeping up with the Joneses, that type of thing. That, outdoing the Joneses type of people. Is that by you doing something against someone else, it's just doing it to you. We are all connected. What's good for you is good for me. What's good for me is what's good for you, because we are all interconnected. I just have this mindset that at some point we're going to go away from all of this competition stuff and be collaborative, as opposed to trying to best people. There are a lot of people who do that now in our society, where they're very much, let me help my friend here, let me help you, let me take care of the people around me. But I feel like our society, as we go through this ascension, is going to go very much that direction, where people are more connected and supportive and collaborative instead of competitive. And I'm not sure how I went down this tangent, because I was talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and religion. But that's what hanging out with Nakona's like, right? You never know what the fuck she's going to talk about. So I very much had to untrain myself in what I was raised to believe. When I was 20 and I did this, I don't believe in God. I don't believe what I was raised with. I'm going to revisit this. I'm going to figure this out. At that point in my life, I had to go back and question everything, right? I've talked about this before. Like when somebody, like checking into a hospital for a procedure and signing off for blood transfusions. I had to really, really think about that and go in and go, okay, what do you believe personally? And I thought, personally, I believe that if someone else's blood can help me, then that will be fine. And so I signed off that, yes, give me a blood transfusion if I need it. That was like a huge fucking thing for me, right? Because Jehovah's Witnesses are all about no blood. Once blood comes out of the body, it's to be poured upon the ground, blah, 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 blah. Now, I will tell you now, post-COVID and that, no fucking way. No fucking way. I don't want their cooties in my body. So I'll go back to that. I'm gonna say you had something, you were a little ahead of time. You were a little ahead of yourself in your thoughts there. But now that this whole thing has happened and people got fucking body snatcher fucking clots in their body, yeah, no thanks. Anyway, I digress. So as I was saying earlier, I had mentioned, I'm like, this kind of having to already look at all of my thoughts and my viewpoints in life, having already done that once when I unprogrammed myself from the Jehovah's Witness indoctrinations, when I started awakening to the bullshit in our society, meaning what's going on with the government and the fuckery. Some people call them the elites. I refuse to. I won't. They're a bunch of fuckery that they're calling the shots. And when you start waking up to these things, when people start waking up to these things and seeing that our government officials and our Hollywood stars, all of the people that we've lionized and created into these great big untouchable deities of our society, when we start understanding that they've been using adrenochrome and they've been torturing children and they've been doing indespicable acts to the children, our children, fucking fucking children. When we understand that and everybody starts getting that this goes all the fucking way to the top and society starts to crumble, people are going to have to start re-looking at everything in their society around them. I've been there. It's hard. It's tough. It's tough shit. It's tough to go in and go, okay, what do I really believe? And I feel like it's going to be tough when this shit all comes out and people actually start seeing it, because there will be a mass emotional release. There will be this like huge feeling of betrayal worldwide. And it's not just, you know, the government, the people, when people understand and realize that big corporations are putting shit in our foods to make us sick so that their pharmaceutical division can make profits off of that. When people understand that they are literally putting things in our beauty products that jack with our system so that their pharmaceutical division, there's a lot of nefarious plans to what they're doing in the world around us, and we just have been good little sheeple and going about our days and not worried about it. There have been plenty of people who've been yelling about it, but we're all stuck in our ruts of baseball practice and gymnastics. For us to understand and stop and pay attention to labels and figure out what on that label is good for you or not good for you. God, I'm going down another tangent again. Anyway, there's going to be a mass, like, it's going to be like huge. Everyone is going to all at once start feeling this. And then that energy in the world is going to be like, and we're going to be like, whoa. And I'll be here to help. I don't know how. That's what I'm here for. I've already gone through this once. Now twice, because I have awakened twice. I awakened from the bullshit of the Jehovah's Witnesses once. I awakened from the bullshit of society a second time. And I learn new things all the time that really make me just want to shake my head and go, why? Why are we living like this? I hope that anyone who was raised a Jehovah's Witness or in any other of these far wackadoodle cults, I hope that if any of you feel like you could use a little extra guidance, hit me up. You know, let me know what specifically you need help with, and I'll see if I can't come up with some suggestions and videos. It's its own special monster to tackle the foundation of your spiritual beliefs. It's pretty intense. And this one went all over the place, but it's par for the course, I guess. It's part of what I have a notepad sitting here that I was like, I should take some notes before I start down this path. And I'm like, nah, I just need to rip the Band-Aid off and just start talking, because this is one of those where I'll spend 3 days writing notes and never making the video because I don't want to talk about it. I haven't wanted to talk about it. It's part of my indoctrination where we don't talk about these things. So I'm talking. All right. I hope you guys have the most amazing day. I love you. And that's it. All right. Love you.